Hello guys, and welcome to my next video. This one I'm going to be going over a replay of a game that I played yesterday, I think, or the day before, that I did do pretty well on, but I wanted to go over it after the fact to sort of go over what I think I could have done better or what I did well. It's probably a bit easier for me to explain it like this after the gameplay, because obviously then I'm not thinking so much about playing itself. So I'm just going to use my directed camera here, or sorry, my manual camera, because I prefer to show you that way. So I'm playing Vlad in mid lane versus Syndra. Both of them are AP mages. Vlad has his inbuilt sustain with his Q, which helps him to lane pretty well and wins short trades. Also, he does not use mana, so in extended laning phases he tends to win out because of his sustain and not requiring mana. Syndra tends to have the range advantage over Vlad, and she can definitely poke him out if she lands her abilities properly. Syndra ult is kind of nullified by Vlad pool though, so this isn't that bad of a matchup for me, to be honest. Right, let's get into the game now. I haven't played this game for a few days, so I will be finding out what happens along with you. But I'll try to commentate what my thoughts should be. So initially, you see I'm autoing all of the minions as much as possible in between harassing the Syndra. I do enjoy playing Vlad aggressively, especially when my empowered Q is about to come up. But you see I'm actually being very aggressive with her because of I feel like I can benefit from it very strongly. I do have D-shield, so me taking a little bit of poke in return is okay, along with my Q sustain. So you see I've built a minion lead, and I use that to hit level 2 first. Sometimes with certain matchups you can look to get a really good strong trade in when you've got the level advantage. I maybe could have looked for that a bit harder here, but I didn't want to take too much poke. I am taking a little bit of poke in the early stages, so I would say I'm probably playing maybe just a tad over aggressive, and I'm kind of using my Qs to sustain back up, but I probably won't use a Q on the wave after this. I want to look for empowered Qs like that, which is a really good trade for me. I use my W to avoid his W slow there, which I think is probably about the same amount of health, so I think it's okay. I possibly could have taken a little less poke, but overall I think I actually think trading even in a Vlad lane is pretty good, because you can sustain up and they can't, and also you make them spend a lot of mana. So I don't really mind that sort of trade as Vlad. Right, so I got pushed in by Syndra, which is natural. And then something weird happens with the Kindred right here. I guess we'll find out together. But what I'm focused on most is obviously CSing well, trying to win trades with the Syndra. And now that I notice her mana's gone, so I know that I'll be able to push out, because she pretty much has to base. She should base right here. Because it's a cannon wave, it's not a bad time to base, and she's not really going to be able to fight me without any mana. But she stays for some reason, which is really bad, because when this 2v2 happens, I know that the Syndra can't follow because she has no flash. So for some reason the Graves backs all the way out of this. I don't think he really has to, because he's got a level lead over Kindred, and the Syndra's got no mana, so we can fight really well, but he backs off, so it's whatever. So then they start fighting again. Kindred should not be engaging here because she's a level down and her mid laner does not have any mana. So seeing what sort of health she's at, I hold E, then flash, Q, and ignite, and auto him, and I know that that's enough for the kill. It's probably only experienced Vlad players will know exactly what their damage threshold is at different points of the game, so this is more of a Vlad specific tip, but obviously knowing how much damage you do at different points of your items is very valuable, and right there I think it's one of those kills that I wouldn't have got if I didn't know that sort of information. So now I've got red buff, which gives me extra sustain, also gives me a slow if I auto him, so I'm very happy to trade, to look aggressively for trades and hopefully get some. He's playing far back as he should be, he still hasn't backed, which I think is awful. Right now he's just kind of conceding the lane to me, and letting me basically push in, get a free base. Right there he decides to use his only W on the backline minion wave, which doesn't seem that good to me. I think he should just let it crash and go from there, but he's continuing to stay because he doesn't want to lose XP. But now you see what happens is he needs the base, and I know that, so I intentionally stop his base, and he's still sitting in lane with no mana. It was very important to stop his base there. He might have lost half a wave, but now I'm forcing even a longer period of time where he can't fight, and I can make runes like this and just pick up free kills on the map from where people are fighting. Now, yeah, you see that his team is flaming him for just letting me roam all over the map, and this is all because he just got a bad base timing. He could have based and maybe lost half a wave or so. Cogmore kills himself to the tower right there. He could have based, maybe lost half a wave or so, but it wasn't worth basically sacking off the next 3 minutes of laning against me. So I get a couple of free kills and head back to base. I buy pretty much entire Shirelles at 7 minutes, which is really good. I think Shirelles is almost always the priority for Vlad these days. It just helps out his engage and being able to get onto your targets and target acquisition so much more than any other item. A lot better than Proto Belt right now, if you ask me. So Syndra pushed out, and I'm signaling that my enemies are missing, so my top laner should be backing off right now. He desperately wants to get the tower dive kill, but he's not listening to me. Luckily he's an okay Riven player, and he manages to dodge out of the Syndra stun, so that makes her roam completely useless. And meanwhile I pushed in mid as fast as I could, which means that Syndra's going to lose this entire wave of golden XP. Now, once that's done, the Syndra still hangs around, so I decided to run up to top because I think that we can win the 2v2. Syndra is a good stun away from me and disengages the fight, but that's okay. There's no harm in trying, to be honest, because it's not like Syndra's farming while I'm not. Obviously I want all the plays that I go for to work, but realistically you're not going to have every single one of them work if they're played well by the opposition. So anyway, we move back into lane. I'm looking around on the map. They have a Draven bot lane, so it's something that I really want to shut down if I can, so I might look to make a roam to bot lane soon and impact their lane as well. I've obviously made the roam once to bot lane and double killed them. So you see my junglers looking at fighting this Kindred right here, the Riven TPs in order to allow him to fight him. I think that's one of them pinging me to come and help, which I do decide to do. But do I go all the way? I think I might go all the way. Oh no, but yeah, I decide to call off the room because it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get a lot, because this try area I know is warded because I saw it earlier. So I know that gank's not going to work. So I head back mid, pick up the wave. I did ping that Syndra was coming. I think I ping it again. She's really going for it hard over here. Oh, she flashes. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate for the Kog'Maw, to be honest. But they kind of half fuck up the dive and they get really low and the Draven dies to the tower. So then I'm just coming around sniffing around for free kills basically. But they just about managed to see me before this ward expires right here, so I don't get any kills, which feels pretty bad. It's not the end of the world still though. So Syndra got a free kill on her roam down, which I did warn my bot lane about, but I guess they didn't think she'd go that hard, which is kind of reasonable. And then I actually decided to push in this wave because I really don't want the Draven to get ahead and be able to push down the tower. So I decided to just focus all my energy and just stay bot. Now the Kindred comes in and decides that he can come at the tower, and he cannot. I am way too strong for that. So I just tower dive him. It's really easy to tower dive with Vlad because you can use his W, his pull to reset the tower as aggro, and you can do your full combo and then pull, and you no longer got the tower aggro to you, which is really nice. He also does all of his damage in one go, so we managed to get the tower off that kill. Meanwhile, Syndra pushes in mid and my jungler picks up the mid farm. As a jungler, this is something you should look to do. This was a free wave that was going to die to the tower, so making sure you soak up that golden XP, which is much easier for you to get than jungle camps, is always important. Right, so the Syndra thinks he might roam on my bot lane. I go and zone him off so that he's not allowed to. He's pushing in mid again, but I come for the fight because I think this looks too important for me to miss. I was right, I get a double kill. Well, I am involved in 2 kills, and then it's just 2v2 with Graves coming, and I'm feeling so strong right now, so I take the fight. It works out okay, and we go back to mid. So at the moment I'm sitting at, I'm just going to pause this for a second so that I can sort of assess the game state. So at the moment I'm sitting at 4-0-3. I haven't backed yet, I haven't backed for a long time actually. I'm not sure how you check the gold, but I'd love to see how much. I think I have a lot of gold right here. I'm actually down in CS over my mid lane counterpart, but that's because he's been taking waves while I've been roaming around the map. So this is the kind of trade-off that you have to make when you're playing, and a lot of these kills that I went specifically to bot lane for were very free, very easy to get, and they impacted their lanes a lot. I think that obviously it doesn't look like the bot lane are doing great, but they're doing okay, and they far outscale the Draven. Not so much the Rakan, but as long as the Draven doesn't have any damage, these two really don't matter that much. So shutting them down was important. Also shut the jungler down massively. He's really behind with his CS and his score. He's level 6. I'm level 9. So yeah, while the Syndra's been getting more waves than me, I have been pressuring around the map a lot more. Now, if I was in this situation, what I'd be looking to do is make sure that we get this Mountain Dragon, and possibly the Rift Herald as well, because I think we have that much pressure that we can afford to do that. We're, what, 6,000, almost 6,000 gold ahead. And finally, I'm looking to influence this top lane matchup, which is so far undecided other than the massive CS leader. Wow, that is huge from the Riven. But I think that the Riven, yeah, just barely dies to the Yorick. That was so close. So I kind of see that at this point and go, oh, the Yorick's 1 HP. So I know that it's close right now. So if I go in for one gank or one counter gank, then I could tip the scales and get him into a winning matchup. So right now I was gonna back because I have a lot of gold, but I decided that I can stay for even longer. This is a bit greedy, but so I want to watch this again. So I decide to stay, and this is a classic example of tunnel vision from the enemy mid laner, where he either intentionally or just didn't realize, he knows that I haven't used Q yet, or maybe he's not thinking about it, but he should be. So I haven't used my Q yet. I just used my E to push out the wave, because I want to be pushing so that I can harass him while it pushes. The reason why you can harass a lot better while you push is because they've got to concentrate on their last hitting, and obviously you've already done half of your last hitting if your wave is bigger. So they have to concentrate on that, and also if they try to fight you while their wave is smaller, then your wave will attack them and do more damage to them. So overall, you'll win the trades. This is especially relevant when they're CSing at tower, particularly the tower range minions, because obviously they will be dying fast to the tower, so there's a limited time for them to step up and CS them here. And often they'll use abilities to be able to CS them properly, and that means that they're completely open for you to harass them under tower and get them low enough to kill. So pushing is good for harassing. In this case, Vlad can kind of do both. He can harass with his Q and also look for all-ins once they're low enough, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm pushing, and you see how he steps forward to try and get a QW on the ranged minions, because he doesn't want me to be pushing. But by this point I'm strong enough, I think, where him using his abilities on the wave, I can punish that hard enough in health values for him. So he doesn't want me to be pushing so that he can be pushing and he can harass me. But he expends a large chunk of his mana and his potential damage just on pushing, and he can't really ignore me, not repeatedly anyway. So he takes a Q, which also restores health back to me, and then he also stays for a Q on the minion, and gets punished hard for it because of my empowered Q was up, and I kill him. So here I pop Chevaliers, I E, and then pull, and then Q, and he dies. So here their bot lane is collapsing. I use my ult and E to deal as much damage and then get out because I knew the Draven was about to kill me. So I have to flash out of that one, but I'd still say that's pretty worth, to be honest. And being able to get the kill on the Syndra and shut her down because she was deathless so far, so that's a really nice shutdown. I'm also drawing the attention of basically 3 people, which is really nice. It allows my Graves to get a free dragon, and my bot lane is pushing against their top laner up onto the tower. So I've actually got a load of gold right here. I've got I think I remember it being something like 3k, but I really didn't want to back it because I was full HP and I still had pressure in the 1v2 lane, but I decided back in the end because I just had so much gold. I think it ended up being like 3,600 or something, so I just buy an entire Morellonomicon and a control ward. Really, really good buy. Huge. I could have potentially gone instead for just the Oblivion Orb from the Morellos and gone for like I'll need the Large Rod to just build straight into a Death Cap, because I think that now I'm far ahead enough where I just want to do a snowball build which does as much damage as possible. But I decided to finish off the Morellos. I think the healing reduction from Morellos is really good against Kindred, Draven, and Yorick. So it just makes sense, and finishing an item is really important as well. So that's what I decided to do. So at the minute my Graves is just farming. These guys are in a weird 2v2 with the AD and the top laner. And then the support is just kind of sitting mid with the Syndra, and I can easily 2v1 these guys if they don't play around me correctly, and they try and go for a play on me in a bush that I didn't know was warded, but it doesn't work because I'm so strong right now. So anyway, the support tries to roam. There's a bit of a fight going on here. I see this, and both lanes see it, and we kind of go over to help. I zone the Syndra away from being able to get there easily, because I'm so strong that I can basically walk up to her and take any fight that I want, and she knows that, so she has to back off. Here I take a bad EQ, which I shouldn't have taken. Her poke doesn't really mean a lot to me in the minute because of my inbuilt sustain, but I shouldn't take really easy ease like that. So now I see that there's 3 top, and I'm really strong, so I think that we can collapse on them. So all of their team is coming top, and we've got Riven pushing bot, but I'm really strong, so I don't mind taking this fight too much. My Graves is getting backlined by the Kindred, who tries to ignore the rest of us, and she can't really do that, but we get quite low from this. Everyone else apart from me, who's desperately just trying to finish off anyone, and I managed to leave like 2 of them at 1 HP, which is a little bit disappointing, but whatever, what can you do? So I finish off pushing this lane, and I see that this tower is low, so I really want to finish off the tower, and just try and snowball the gold lead even more. The Yorick TP's in, and here is a series of about 2 minutes of play that I kind of disagree with. So I go back to base, and buy and everything, and I buy towards the Sonya's because I think it's good. It is, Sonya's is good here. I could have bought a Death Cap, but I think I just had all good money for it. So here I go back to lane, and it's just the Yorick sitting at tower with a ZZ Rot and his ulti and everything, and I'm just like kind of sat here in this lane, pushing him in and doing some damage and clearing your vision and all this stuff. I don't actually think that this was the best use of my time. I would have much rather gone mid, and I think I can punish the Syndra a lot harder than I could the Yorick, because this kind of felt like laning against an AI. So anyway, there's an eventual all-in. It goes okay. I mean, I get the better end of it because I can just sit and sustain off the wave. But I don't get the kill, which is a little bit disappointing. You see what I mean about this like laning versus AI thing? There's just so many things running after me everywhere. It's really annoying actually. But whatever. So I eventually kill the maiden, yes. And I'm still pushing against this annoying ZZ Rock bullshit. I know that the Yorick doesn't have ulti anymore because I just killed it. So now I push into the tower, and then the Kindred tries to come and gank me. And should we have a replay? So the Kindred comes, I know that she's coming. So she just ceased to exist right there. That's the one-shot special. That's just from being so far ahead. There was no massive outplay there, although she definitely shouldn't have walked up to me like that. That was a big mistake on her part with how strong I am. So anyway, now that she's dead, we can group up and take the tower. Again, I'm pretty sure I've got a hell of a load of gold. We actually decide. Oh, do we decide to cease the TF2? I think yeah, that's it. I saw a fight going on over here, so I wanted to just be as involved as possible. So Q, Alt, E, and pull, get a double kill, and and pop my Shirley's as well to give me enough move speed to get in the middle of those two. That's really important. That's why if you don't run Shirley's, then you kind of have to run Ghost to just be able to get on top of your priority targets. So at this point in the game, we're ahead by about 15k, which is massive. Basically, any fight that we take is going to be an absolute blowout. As you can see, we're absolutely destroying them at this point. But you can't rely on this kind of destruction in every single game. This is a more of an extreme example. So anyway, we back. I decided to. Oh yeah, I had so much money. I just bought an entire death cap at this point, which I think is the right choice. I actually wanted to buy that before, but I didn't have the right money for it. But anyway, yeah, I just get an entire death cap. I leave the blue for Cog because I don't use mana, so I don't really need it. And Cog uses a lot of mana, and he doesn't build any mana items, so it's really good to do that. Alright, so we try and seize the top inhibitor. The Riven flashes in. I'm completely okay just tower diving. We're so strong at this point that it's actually laughable that they even try and contest us. I mean, diving past turrets and everything doesn't really matter. They're all dead. I don't really get to show any more massive outplays other than just flashing for this Rakan because I was bored. Yeah, he disappeared as well. But anyway, so we kill all of them. And we get some towers and some inhibitors. I'm very surprised they didn't FF, to be honest. So I make a silly mistake, very silly mistake, and we're going to rewind this a little bit because at this point I got far too arrogant, thinking that I could actually 1v5 them, and I got Syndra stunned, and then I got Yorick trapped. Now I have a Lulu here, and I do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I don't think it's enough to save me if I remember. Oh my god, I'm alive. So somehow I'm alive after all that, and honestly that's just because I'm 10, 0 and 8. If I wasn't, then I would have died, and I should have died. That was a really lapse in concentration by me, but regardless, I heal back up to full off the wave, and I'm feeling myself, so I feel like we can definitely end 3v5. I wouldn't recommend doing this in a ranked game, but I was just having a bit of fun. That was 1 Q, by the way, on the Syndra that got it to the 10%. And yeah, this one I'm just looking to end the game as fast as possible. As did the Kindred just disappear as well. And I'm going to speed up this final section because there's nothing really else that we can learn other than just that Vlad does a lot of damage. Especially when he gets really ahead, and Syndra made a lot of errors that I see very often in mid lane, where about not knowing how to push and base correctly, not knowing how to manage her mana, stepping up against my damage when to push the wave, and so she gets punished by my trading stance, and all of these kind of things, as well as this basing problem kind of compounding into her not being able to match my roams, and me getting really strong off of roaming. And Vlad isn't actually the strongest champion for roaming, I wouldn't say, and that's not because he doesn't impact with a lot of damage. It's just that he can struggle to shove out on the early levels, especially, and his pushing power isn't as good as some of the other control mages. Assuming that he's bought Shirelias, and he can deal a lot of damage in the side lanes, but I think before that, and without Ghost, you sometimes struggle to get onto the priority targets in time. But obviously, I think that he scales incredibly well. He has good laning, and he's very adept at dealing with a lot of the more assassin picks in solo queue, as well as some getting through some harder lanes, which can be problematic, say if you're picking something like Rise, which I also like to pick. Quite often you'll just have a Z counter pick and just make your life really miserable until 30 minutes into the game. And I think that could be more relevant in the early stages, despite the fact that he also scales really well. So, thank you for watching my my commentary, and I hope you learned a lot, and I'm going to be making more in the future.